creation and encouragement of industries and draft law regarding the elderly forwarded by the Shura Council. Pfizer Incorporated says an early peak at its vaccine data suggests the shots may be 90% effective at preventing COVID-19. Rival Libyan factions meet in Tunisia for UN bringing a lasting peace to the war-torn country and preparing the affected trees, as well as using baits to attract red palm. Of honeybee keeping and breeding for social securities and low-income women in those families, as well as job seekers in the governorates of North and South Al-Batna and the wilayats of Al-Quriyat and the governorate of Muscat. The participants in the project will undergo training in the process of beekeeping. According to the agreement, the association will provide financial support for the beneficiaries so as to enable them to open their own projects and market for their products. The agreement also was signed by His Excellency Dr. Saud bin Hamoud Habsi, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources, and from the association side was signed by Honorable Mariam bint Isa Al-Zajariya, Member of the State Council, Chairperson of the association. Welcome back to the news. And now for international news, Pfizer Incorporated said an early peak at its vaccine data suggests the shots may be 90% effective at preventing COVID-19, indicating the company is on track later this month to file an emergency use application with the US regulators. Today's announcement doesn't mean the vaccine is imminent. This interim analysis from Independent Data Monitoring Board looked at 94 infections recorded so far in a study that has enrolled nearly 44,000 people in the US and 5 other countries. Authorities have stressed it's unlikely any vaccine will arrive much before the end of the year, and limited initial supplies will be rationed. The shots made by Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech are among 10 possible vaccine candidates in late-stage testing around the world. 4 of them so far in huge studies in the US. Another US company, Moderna Incorporated, also has signed its hopes to be able to file an application with the FDA later this month. The coronavirus has claimed at least 1.26 million lives worldwide since they first emerged in China late last year. More than 50.4 million cases have been registered across the globe. The United States, the worst affected country, with 237,584 deaths from 9.97 million cases. After the US, the hardest hit countries are Brazil with 162,397 deaths, India 126,611, Mexico 95,027, and the United Kingdom with 49,044 deaths. Meanwhile, India's environmental court orders a ban on firecrackers in cities with poor air quality during the country's biggest festival, Diwali, citing a link between pollution and a coronavirus surge. And the Algerian presidency say the health of President Abdelmadjid Tebboune, who has been hospitalized in Germany with COVID-19 since late October, is constantly improving. Rival Libyan factions met today for UN-led talks aimed at bringing a lasting peace to the war-torn North African country and preparing for elections. The meeting in neighboring Tunisia follows months of relative calm and a key ceasefire deal in October between the two major camps in the long-running conflict. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres told delegates in a video message at the opening ceremony that they have the opportunity to end a tragic conflict and how it's in their turn to shape the future of their country. October ceasefire agreement has followed for vital oil production to resume and for progress on efforts to end years of political deadlock. This week's talks in Gamath near Tunisia, capital Tunis, aim to unify the countries under single executive and pave the way for national elections. The 75 Libyan delegates selected by the UN have given up the right to play a role in the resulting political body. President-elect Joe Biden will convene a coronavirus task force today to examine the #1 problem confronting him when he takes office in January. Biden is due to meet with an advisory board co-chaired by former Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, former Food and Drug Administration Commissioner David Kessler, and Yale University Associate Professor Marcella Nanes-Smith, who examine how best to tame a pandemic that has killed more than 237,000 Americans. The Democratic former Vice President will then give remarks in Wilmington, Delaware, about his plans of tackling COVID-19 and rebuilding the economy, even as Trump declines to concede and hanging on to power. The Biden-appointed scientists and experts will liaise with local and state officials in the pandemic response. They will consider how to safely reopen schools and businesses and tackle racial disparities. The Biden panel includes Rick Bright, a whistleblower, who says he was removed from his Trump administration post for raising concerns about coronavirus preparedness, and Luciano Borio, who specializes in complex public health emergencies, will also be included in the panel. U.S. President Donald Trump left his Virginia golf course after the presidential race was called for Democratic challenger Joe Biden today. Supporters cheered for him as he was driven past. Trump not publicly recognized Biden's victory and has falsely claimed the election was stolen. The president was facing pressure to cooperate with Biden's team to ensure smooth transfer of power when the new administration takes office in January. The General Services Administration is tasked with formally recognizing Biden as president-elect, which begins the transition, but the agency's Trump-appointed administrator, Emily Murphy, has not started the process and has given no guidance on when she will do so. The president of South Korea today sent a congratulatory message to United States President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. In his today's meeting with top aides, President Moon Jae-in stressed that South Korea will work together with the incoming U.S. administration to solidify the alliance between the two countries. Moon also said his government will do its best to make sure that the achievements for the peace of the Korean Peninsula it accomplished with the Trump administration can seamlessly extend into the new administration and advance further. Yesterday, President Moon sent congratulations to Biden and Harris in a tweet tagging their Twitter accounts. Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga said today that he wanted to work with the President-elect Joe Biden's strengthen the Japan-U.S. alliance and to secure peace and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region. Speaking to reporters, Suga also said nothing had been decided on the timing of phone talks with Biden or a visit to the United States, but added he wanted to arrange them at the right time. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro said that he was ready for dialogue, cooperation, and understanding with U.S. President-elect Joe Biden's incoming administration. Maduro said U.S. President Donald Trump was living behind a minefield in the relationship between Washington and Caracas. Under Trump, the U.S. has imposed crippling sanctions on Venezuela aimed at forcing Maduro out of office. Maduro said they will work hopefully to resume decent, sincere, direct channels of dialogue between the future government of Biden and the legitimate and constitutional government of Venezuela, which he presides over. Watching this Sultan of Oman television, before tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The State Council Office reviews proposals of draft law of organization and encouragement of industries and draft law regarding the elderly forwarded by the Shura Council. Pfizer Incorporated says an early peak at its vaccine data suggests the shots may be 90% effective at preventing COVID-19. Rival Libyan factions meet in Tunisia for UN-led talks aimed at bringing it lasting peace to their war-torn country and preparing for elections. And U.S. President-elect Biden announces the coronavirus team as U.S. cases soar, while President Trump refuses to concede defeat. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, thanks for your time. Good night.